Hello, buddies, and welcome back to my session with investigations. So we're going to investigate the crime scene and all that stuff, so let's just begin. And also, before that, I recorded this part a long time ago, but the sound disappeared, so I had to record again. So yeah, so let's just begin. Detective Van, may I have a word with you? What is it? What is it? It appears that both the knife and the gun was used as murder weapons. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons? The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial today. It was used to kill the European Embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rell was being held by the police. There's no way he could have borrowed it, which means it's impossible that Faraday that had a knife on him from the start as well. Could have been a piece of evidence that yet to be presented? But then why doesn't the Japan know about it? Wait, what if... It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife under the guise of the prosecution evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. Huh, maybe you got a brain in there after all, kid. It's going to trip your action forever. It looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, who then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must find my conclusive evidence. First find conclusive evidence so as to assure the owner of the car name. Okay, can I talk to you first? Do you have any thoughts upon the case? Very well. It looks like they killed each other to me. Although there are a few things that just don't seem right. And what would they be? Why don't you try to take it on your own first before you bother me, kid boy? What? I've been downgraded to this boy? Fine, let's investigate then. It looks like Mr. Faraday fell out of Mr. Rell. At first it seems like they must have killed each other, however... You see, Large, the only logical conclusion is... Aha! What was for? Why did you say you hit me really hard? It was Mr. Rell the first see? You don't need to use instinct for that. It's just common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after examining bodies. I won't just let examine every nook and cranny. The blood bag first. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? I'm never happy when someone compliments me, but it's this guy. He's just downright annoying. Anyway, could this plastic bag be evidence of a fight between the two men? That's that, and then the gun. Looks like Mr. Faraday. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his hand right then. So he shot Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while still gripping the gun. I guess that just seems quite strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's almost like the rocket science, even I know how to pull the trigger. Although I don't think I ever need to use one. I hope I never had to fire a gun either, pal. But I sure just go hold the gun in your hands. It appears that the police's screening procedures need to review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun Mr. Faraday's had. The knife? Looks like Mr. Rell died with the knife in his hand. There's some bloodstock on it. Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a different intention in mind? I should jot some notes down about it. Isn't this all black down here? Isn't this all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this portion apparently must have ink stain. An ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen. A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Are you sure you're not makeup, pal? Think so, pal? The real cause of death was from being shot, correct? That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him face laying down. That is bad enough, but truly limited that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? I can't confirm it's the real cause of death, but his body pushes like that. That's the bad. Did I have to examine the bodies in further detail if possible? What's this? You're not able to follow a theory with them the way they are? I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to find the perfect evidence, don't you? I suppose you have a point. Well, how do you get over it? Labby. Yes, sir, we'll take enough photos of secret. And there you have it. Thanks. Do you not approve? Of course not. What? What? Investigation of a crime scene is work of the detective, so do not touch a thing. Hey, big fellow, turn over the bodies for me, will you? Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective. You're a detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Okay, further investigation. I want the resident to look at Granny. There's a pen. There's something in his breast pocket. It's a font pen. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because the bad is always telling me. You should always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. Shot in the chest. It takes some guts to find a gun in the courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't found a single round yet. There aren't many in the burglars on the clothes. That must mean. Wait, burn marks? A round grows very hot as it's discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot in as fire from point range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. You sure do you know a person needs stuff from your brow? A prejudice detective has much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. There's a knife wound in his gesture, see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell's holding. Labby? Yes, sir. We're fine now, sir. Make it quick. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding what killed Mr. Faraday. Let us not try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from to destroy evidence. Then he aimed the gun at the Mr. Rell fire. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. What a crazy way to go! Still, something about the explanation just doesn't seem right. I believe now we have a firmer grasp of what happened here. There are some plastic bags stacked on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of disturbance. Yeah, the table also needs tidy. Maybe They were super quiet in the scuffle. After all, I didn't hear anything from the out in the hall, you know. Maybe the plastic bag scattered on the floor are throwing us off. Oops. There's a stuff in the back, pal. I suppose it was Mr. Ferris' bag. It's probably the sorry evidence I was supposed to collect for it. This is the evidence? I better not touch it. I will leave prints on it. Do you not just pay attention to anything you do? Why is the plastic bag going around? Those bags ever keep your evidence pad safe, pal. I'm not that much, detective. You're sure good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Oh, I had to use the logic. I forgot. Okay, fountain pen and an ink stain. Connect. There's splotch on Mr. Ferris' hat. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Ooh, let's ask the lab guy. I think I'm true. I confirmed the substance of Mr. Ferris' hand is the ink from the fountain pen. I see. Good work. You know, I always want to say that, even if it was just one time in my life. Mr. Ferris wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand. I think it's fair to assume that it was left-handed. And the piece of Mr. Ferris' pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. There's a very tiny pile of plastic bags on the table, and yet a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not like that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle, in which case might there not be another explanation at how they got there? Another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. Eek, please get away, not away from me, pal! Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag? Hold on, let me ask the lab guy. Alright, please hurry. Where did you get the load of this, pal? It was Ferris. And on the technicians... And the technician said that it didn't have anything else on the bag. On or in the bag either. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, if you say so, I will leave it in your hands, pal. My voice is really tired. How long have I recorded? 14 minutes? Okay, let's talk. Turnabout, do you have any notes on the case? To Francisca? Ah, I see. Did you figure something out? This is competition wise, and I appreciate you to talk to me. As you wish. The window is open and... there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. The flowers are down there are so gross and ghastly. Do you think maybe we can try offering something useful for change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through the window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a full furniture floor. Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing the courthouse. Very nice. Wow! What is it, Detective Gumshoe? My team at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one. Ooh, let me see here. Wow, this thing's huge. Where? And way too noisy. You're a noisy one, Scruffy. Don't you touch it. You will get your fingerprints all over it. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. The foundation sounds like something the rookie here needs to show up on. I guess there's not much left to investigate, They really did kill Shatter. No, we can't prove that quite yet. The state of things find this very peculiar here. The theory that the CP kill one another is too simplistic in this case. The fact is that the actual contradiction that shows there's no possibility. No way, Pat, really? Huh. I suppose I will just have to show you the conflict in this crime scene. I won't rest in the new crime. Mr. Faraday is holding on his right hand. That's the one Mr. Red got blown away by, right? That'll be your answer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We found those ballistic markings on the machine gun. Oh, ballistic markings are the figurative fingerprints of gun leaves on a bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings of a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from. Ah, that's it! Of course I already knew that, pal. Maybe you'd be better off going back to the academy. Hey! Come on, sir! Could be so slack, will ya? So the bullet that was fired from his gun is what felled Mr. L. Eureka! That's a long time I heard. Now we come to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and that is this. Mr. Ferry uses his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo he's left-handed, and yet the handgun is on the right hand. Do you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Ferry would hold the gun in the right hand? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange. But how did something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion and one will know. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after drawing it. Someone else? Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun on the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person fighting the truth who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Investigation complete. I will talk anyway. Here's their autopsy report. It is probable that Mr. Ren survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting. It looks like we know now everything we need to know about this case.
Are you sure that we know everything?
Of course, the incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get this revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill Mr. Defendant. But the defendant fought back and ended up killing each other. The end. That's all very simple. There's no marking about it.
Do you really read us the truth to be the truth?
Are you saying just because I figured the truth before you, that you don't want to believe is true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. But if there is a contradiction to be found, that is...
Don't worry, I will. Oh, don't you worry about that.
What happened? Mr. Faraday that was instantaneously why Mr. L survived for a short time. From this it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he was shot Mr. L. And Mr. L while on the brink of death stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case.
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneously, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that the logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in this theory.
What happened?
I don't have to talk, do I? No. So I believe that Mr. Rell stole a knife from Mr. Faraday.
Mr. Rebecca kept his breath as he did not want to die. Human beings can't do amazing things when they are put to test. He started to and struggled. In the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The missing condition of this room is the method of the struggle. Yes, my logic perfectly sound.
Could you really say that it's perfect?
What is insinuating?
Nothing. However, I can't let you set slide without any further inquiry. Form must be clear and precise if you would like to append that statement to your testimony.
Fine.
Okay, I had to see my old clip. Because now I'm going to use the present yellow objection. Objection! Objection! Dang it. Objection!
Objection!
That's so good. It worked! If the two men were fighting, their struggle wouldn't have necessarily caused quite a bit of a noise. However, the detective officer testified that they heard absolutely nothing.
Ha! You placed too much faith in the detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say that there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. L get his hands on the knife?
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right next here in the lobby number 2. It is not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. L saw a chance to took it out at some point.
So, what are you... what you're saying is this. Mr. L took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag.
Oops.
And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. L after being stabbed.
Isn't there something? Is there a Chief Francisco statement just now? Yes, something's off. Wait, something doesn't add up.
Oh, really?
Is it not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. L after being stabbed? Yep, the autopsy report.
Take that!
According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately after being stabbed by a knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired a gun after that.
Oh, you got me.
But of course...
Well then, if the report is correct, then there is only one correct explanation. If you suppose that Mr. L attacked first, then Mr. Faraday who died instantaneously would have been unable to kill Mr. L. Therefore, Mr. L must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. That's the only explanation that makes logical sense.
Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory, as you have been studying, Francisco.
I just wanted to explain it to you as simple as possible. Before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could.
How neat of you to believe that only your opinions are valid. I still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisco, you still got a ways to go.
What are you talking about? How do you say there's a flaw in my logic?
Is the further die instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in the scene. The contradiction here in the crime scene is the order of the bodies. Let me get this straight. Why are you arguing this? Mr. Ferrier took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. L. Then the wounded Mr. L found the opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Ferrier died on the spot and Mr. L died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled.
No!
Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. L's, therefore Mr. L must have died before Mr. Faraday. impossible!
Yes, I agree that this is strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind the crime scene. We must do what?
No, not so fast, Miss Edgeworth.
What now?
I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. That is even clearer now that the incident started with the Mr. Furry's body scent.
She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to be take some time. Somewhere that's the evidence to prove it wrong.
I will get you back, Miles. It was your chance that Mr. Furry's body fell on top of Mr. L's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in opposite order.
I just know that Francisco's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in your logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction.
Hold it!
About that,
This is someone's testimony in order to get you some time to think. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you, Mr. Bad? Your trick only works on fools.
that wasn't my intent. I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Ferry ended up on top of Mr. L.
Someone's impatient. It was just about to explain everything to you. So do you think you could hold on for a minute?
Francisco, I will make you a deal. I will hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours.
Oh, you have a hold on?
No, wrong voice.
I am hold on to it, alright? As I whip you. Well, now that you are quiet down a bit, I'd like to continue if you don't mind.
Back.
Usually I guess that they attacked each other at the same time.
Hold it!
What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time?
I assume Mr. Ferry had two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Elway while holding both the knife and the revolver. And then, after Mr. Ferry fired the gun, Mr. Red grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Ferry. That's how Mr. Elway opened the button off with Mr. Ferry on top. At close range, that is more possible.
Yes, it's possible, but...
Well, if you have any other ideas, just show me what you got.
Oh, I will, so will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you said to testimony.
I don't see any point to that, but still please.
Nope, you're so wrong, Francesca. You're so wrong.
Objection!
Yeah, objection. You're so wrong. So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it's written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. L's clothes. Therefore, Mr. L and the gun must have been separated by distance for of at least 2 or 3 yards. Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. L moved that far of being shot, there is only one possible explanation.
But I completely foolish, blind over foolish thought of a truly foolish fool. If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move that to kill her? Who?
Person that are first with the murders attempt, that would be neither of them. Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man will claim attack first. Thus there can only be one explanation. There was a third person here. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Fairley and Mr. L.
I set the bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit.
I said sure, there's just one thing you're missing.
Evidence correct.
Exactly, everything you have said up till now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, there's where the real test begins. Can you prove there's a third person involved next time?
Of course. If a third person was really here, the fact would resolve a glaring contradiction. The truth that this has all been a setup made to look like they killed each other. I've pressed it and lay bare the fine piece of puzzle that's not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves there's a third person involved? The blood bag? Take that! Take that! Take that! Take that! Take that! Take that!
Take that!
Yeah, it worked! The gun in Mr. Ferrer's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person.
How so?
Recall that it took him through his testimony.
Well, I was in all the whole time, but I didn't hear a signal of people struggle.
If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there should be any plastic bags on the ground. Meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for a moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held a knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch up any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife. Then, by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the blood in one in them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal its presence.
Looks like we still got a long way to go in the investigation. Yes.
Objection!
What the heck is up with you, pal? Mr. Bad, I was due to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. What? Why?
What's the meaning of this?
Huh, looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates.
Don't you dare!
The detective claims he was standing in front of the door at the right time. But how did good authority this will all be a giant lie?
Monsieur, I asked you to please explain the last statement.
I will let this unexplain itself. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, I tell you. During the recess there was a period of time where there was someone in the hallway. What? See, Mr. Bad. So I ask you why would the detective who was supposed to be doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie?
Gumshoe, did you kill Mr. Faraday?
No! Of course not, sir! It would be that the one who set this whole crime scene is that detective, which basically renders his testimony completely and wholly invalid. It looks like a perfect logic. I just completely down, Miles. I wasn't home the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep for a struggle.
Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you are no a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth. Also help me.
I haven't lied to anyone, sir. Honest. I really was there. I wasn't home the whole time.
Hold it!
Detective Bad, I asked you to please do not act without my permission. After all, I'm the one that is heading up the investigation, am I not? Don't talk like you know what you're doing, boy. Don't talk to you like you know doing what you know.
All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly.
Perfection is the only wish of the disciple for come after all.
Therefore, before you take the Tegonshu into custody, I'd like to set the record straight or something. On something. And what's that? What would you ask the Tegonshu about? The Tegonshu, why were you missing from the hallway for a span of time?
Look, pal, like I said, it was there the whole time, okay?
But there's this one against you that...
Miss Edgeworth, why are you wasting our time with a completely useless question? The only logical reason as to why he was absent is that he was busy committing a crime. Anyone who says otherwise is a fool.
Maybe I should ask about something else. There's a sure. I take it that no one else was in the hallway, is that correct?
Huh? Oh, of course not.
You're being awfully defensive. Might you be hiding something from me?
What's your mouth, pal? You can go around saying stuff like that about me without any evidence.
I suppose you're right. I have no evidence at this point.
What's the talking to me with this detective? You disgrace!
Maybe I should ask about something else. Or from tasting pepper again. I suppose the only thing I'd like to clarify is that the Gumshoe motive for committing this crime. Motive, huh? Gumshoe, you got a grudge against Mr. Ferris or anything?
No, sir, not at all. Not me. I was thinking a bad thing against Mr. Ferris, sir.
Is that a fact?
You really have a problem with lying, don't you, Gumshoe? I'm telling you, I am not lying. The more I should act, the more suspicious you become, you know. If you want to murder me, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here.
Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of frenzy. Because all I'm interested in is perfect explanation.
You're serious, aren't you? Fine, you amused me, so I will hear you with a little courtroom practice. Gorgeous motive. It was about a week ago. I saw that to get chewed on out by the livid. But left Mr. Faraday in front of the prison. He stood as super bell as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a sad record for you, nitwit!" And brand new detective suddenly getting his hair cut. That's reason for a grudge. Well, how's that for a preferred explanation? You totally misunderstand me, pal. No matter how mad I get, they could never hold a grudge.
Quiet. We can't trust anything you say.
Sir!
There's nothing wrong with the motive she proposed, per se. But there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Misuse perfect explanation. May not be perfect after all.
It was about a week ago.
Mr. Faraday was upset.
Yeah, you know what else? Mr. Faraday is snacks enough to get angry so often. But then it was sort of beat-red face. Enough of the detective just stood at his face as a ghost like he was about to die. Just like the face he's making right now. I'm completely innocent to tell you.
The poor man.
It was quite a scene with the detective.
You just stood there watching this unfold in front of you?
Yeah, you have to say it was really enjoyable too. But that's why when I saw the Jacob earlier, I knew to steer clear of him. No way! I thought it was because he had something stuck on my face. But you... What was stuck on my face? Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth, and... Those ridiculous eyebrow.
Huh?
Oh man, this video had is too much fun.
Miss you. If you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now.
Sure, why not? A brand new detective suddenly get this haircut. That's a grudge. Enough to call a grudge.
To cut new detective salary right off the bat like that.
I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that common practice? Speaking of cutting my salary, did you tell me to do that to me earlier too?
I suppose I did.
Is it natural to cut a worthless detective's salary down to the actual words? My father can be fire anyone, you or old, with a snap of his fingers. Do you think maybe the reason enough for detectives to hate you people?
Well, I guess they really shouldn't cut people's pay. They're too bad. Don't tell me Mr. Walkheimer cut your salary earlier. He probably did.
Well, how's that for a perfect explanation?
Hold it!
You call the explanation perfect?
It's not to your liking?
Unfortunately for you, it's not just up to my standards.
Oh, is there something else you want me to clarify in that case?
What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Alright, if you could clearly this one thing for me. I understand that the Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rell?
His motive for killing Mr. Rell? Like you would know.
If this was an clear motive for both of the murders, then I thought this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into it ourselves?
Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea.
What? But that's impossible. She must know something.
Wait! Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh. I didn't do anything and you're all laughing away. Well, anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had motive to kill one of two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway.
Oh, would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a perfect explanation.
Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight, or is that a contrary for being a karma? My Edgeworth, I'd better shut your this rude woman up.
I wish you both be quiet for just 1 second.
Oh well, I guess I will have to explain it to you kids. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. All you really have to do is establish something that had a grudge against one or two of them. Of the two of them, Mr. Rell, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore he was killed out of necessity and set up to look like they kill each other.
I wonder if that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both? I should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. The Sekikashi 87 test people are calling it involving an embassy staff member, and the two men who both wound up as a suspect in the case. Is there someone else I will look at who is someone related to them?
I didn't do it, pal! No hard feelings, but I don't think we can take the word of a criminal seriously. But I didn't even begin to think of ways to set up a crime scene. I suppose you do lack the necessarily tactical mind required to do such a thing. Why do we have to kick a man when he's down, pal? You should put yourself down, detective. You're a big boy. I bet you thought I bet you thought it up all by yourself, right? Yeah, that's right, and I worked really hard too, at it too.
I think this proves one thing about the detective. He has a mental acuity of a worm. I have to admit, her explanation makes sense. However, there's also something she overlooked in testimony. We should present a piece of evidence and see if we can make us see the truth. Oh yeah. Is you a believer someone you overlooked in making a statement? Or rather, is it because you would rather not bring this person up?
What do you mean?
We are looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Ferry and Mr. Rell. I can think of at least one person with the fifth bill. He was a suspect in the original KC-8 incident, and a member of the Cotopaxi embassy staff member. Mr. Manicochi. That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Cotopaxi embassy staff member, Mr. Rell. And the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KC-8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me not that Mr. Koshi has no reason to kill at all to kill both of these men?
Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two.
You're coming for me, pal! Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. Don't get ahead of yourself. You're still suspect. Make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony, these are the only things I wish to hold. But I didn't do it! You must stay under my authority and not go investigate Mr. Manicochi for me. And remember, I will not be forgiven. But forgiven should enough. You want to investigate coaching? You did just be wasting your time. And why is that? Kochi was up in the viewing gallery, watching the trial, or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on him, on the guy, since he arrived.
Then the only suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe.
I suppose so.
No way, come on, Detective Bad, you couldn't believe it, sir. He really was in the hallway the whole time, sir. He never took a single step out into this room, sir.
Okay, then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway?
No, there was no one else, sir.
Then why should I believe you didn't do it?
That is one incredibly foolish detective. Standing right there in front of the crime scene all by myself. It is good as a confession of guilt.
You have to admit that's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of a lie to escape the crime scenes. But if that detective really wanted to prove that they is innocent, you think it at least would at least offer up as I spaced out while on duty or like that. Come on, Gaucho, time for your interrogation.
Okay, sir. They are bad. Yes, Edgeworth, go ahead and report this to Papa.
And that is, as they say, is that, right, everyone?
Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, huh?
Before we do, Miss Ewers, there's something I'd like to speak with you about.
What is it? What is it?
To have set these two men up and make it look like they've killed each other. Is this one thing I cannot forgive? Is the discretion of the death?
So, what do you want to ask me about?
The current case of the murder of the Cotopaxi embassy staff member. I heard that people have begun calling the second KC-8 incident.
All among you law enforcement types. And what about it?
I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KC-8 incident.
I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers.
No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KC-8 incident.
I did appreciate it if you did stop with the false accusations.
Baseless outbursts are useless both inside and outside the quarter, don't you know? I do, but I also know that they do have a leg to stand on. Here. You think you can stop making that ultra serious face in front of me? If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not gonna make any headway like this. I'm just going to have to show her exactly how ready to appreciate it she is. Miss Stewart, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the Casey incident. That follows your proof. Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to Casey 8 incident? Your connection to the Casey 8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really still tell me with a straight face that you are not related to the case? Sorry, but we're not related. Well, just kidding. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face that I couldn't help but... I can't laugh, sorry. It's the middle of the night. Miss you, I asked you to please tell me the truth. Alright, I will tell you everything I know. Please tune over to the next clip I recorded, because my throat is so tired right now. As you guessed, the one who reported smuggling activities of the Mono group was my sister CCU, as I thought. And she was killed right before she was to testify at a penny trial by Penny Coaching, but because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his coaching life like completely carefree, all because of a lack of evidence. Now I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist. What? I heard it from Mr. Ferry himself after Mr. Coaching was trial over. Apparently a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence. The evidence was tampered with? Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Mono group by one of the secretaries. They bailed Mr. Coaching out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along. How big was the smuggling ring? Was it a large operation? I don't really know, which is why I wanted to become the lead defense on this case that people are calling the second Casey incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know. When you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring? I don't know what to think. Why did Mr. Coaching want to meet with you here? Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he arrived. He figured that he should say hi and one other thing. Looks like he couldn't really solve anything this time either. Too bad. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, but stop with scary face, sorry. I'm fine, really. Give him a good slap across the face. The way she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy. Yeah, really, though. Laughing while doing that, while talking about that, so that's not normal. But it's just as Mr. Pat said, he's not ready to do a double murder. After around, the people in the gallery claimed that he was in the seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Well, this is about all I know. This is about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh? That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life. Edgeworth, you really have to serious for your good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we? I take for your advice, but there's no need to worry. I will work in my own way, and I will catch the criminal in my own way as well. You will see. Look at you with your game face on. Ready to go. I'm making no such face. No such face. Do you know love is the best medicine, Edgeworth? Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time? I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter. I don't need for laughter. Laughter. There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up. The KG-8 incident and this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other, somehow. Plus, that detective Gumshoe is obviously lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer can only be determined once I have completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Vakarma, I swear to uphold your honorable name. Or my name is Miles Edgeworth. To be continued. My throat is hurting so much. Save. Okay guys, I had to end this episode, so now I'm finished with the missing. I finally finished with recordings of the missing audio, so yay. So that's over. So now in the next episode we're going to continue from here and then so on. And yeah, so we're going to talk to Von Karma probably, and I don't quite remember, it's been a long time, and then talk about the case and all that, and continue to investigate and review all that stuff. So yeah, I hope that you liked this episode, so and enjoy it, even though it's a bit weird from the audio level or not. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and so I ended this video, so I go to edit it. So thank you for watching, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you liked it, and thanks so much as always, it really helps a lot. And check out the videos I've made, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. And my throat is hurting really bad.